guys, welcome back to the channel. Mike St. Romain here with G2B Custom Coatings and Vinyl. As you know, we've been doing the build series. This is video number 5. We're going to do the helmet today. We're also going to go over the tank now that it's finished. Show you a few new features that we added because the original setup on them didn't really work the way I wanted it to. One is the sprinkler heads. The sprinkler just couldn't produce the volume I needed it to. So reworked that, and we now actually have 2 heads, one for larger pieces that would fit in the bottom of the tray, and one for smaller things like cups or small motorcycle parts or vehicle parts, to where we're not showering the entire tank with water. We're just showering the actual part. So we'll go over a few things. Hopefully you enjoy it. Remember, if this is your first time viewing the channel, we've got the 4 previous videos that go over some of the tank build as well, and the parts that we procured. In this video, I'll also include a full list of all the parts that I purchased to build the tank with, along with links to where you can pick those up if you need to. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, please remember, subscribe, like, and ring the bell so you'll get notifications for new listings that are coming out. Okay guys, we're gonna go over the tank now, and then we'll actually set the tripod back up and we'll run the helmet dip. Hopefully we'll get a good hit on the first try, but regardless whether we do or not, I will share that with you. Like I said, we use the tops of the agricultural tanks to do the lids with. This is the lid for the dip side. Go ahead and open the lid for the rinse side as well. This is in a fairly small space in my garage. It's 8 foot wide, 12 foot deep. The tank itself, 8 feet long, 4 feet wide. As you can tell, this is the dip side of the tank. This is my dam system I set up. Not quite as complex as some of them you see, but it does exactly what I need it to. Now here's one of the redesigns we did after some other trial runs. This is my shower station. This is 2 1-inch irrigation type heads for a large pond, like a big pond sprinkler. They were pretty reasonable. They were about 14 bucks a piece, but they're brass and they do a really good job. Once again, it's all 1-inch pipe, and the biggest reason we did this redesign on the sprinkler head is to maintain the 1-inch pipe size, because most of the pond pumps and other pumps you see like this, they have a high volume output but not a very good pressure. So this is one of the other pieces that I redesigned early on when you saw some of the first videos. Spillover from the dip side of the tank into the shower side of the tank fell into this entire area down here, more so along this edge, and I had a mat across the whole thing, which was a large waste of filter mat. Plus I had a not so great piece of mesh covering the filter bed, and parts would get hung up in it. It was just a huge pain in the ass. So and we actually attached the kickstand to where the lid will stay up by itself, so that was a good thing. Seems to work out really well. And on the dip side, we've just got a little bungee cord attaching it to the wall. We've got our air hose run around through the behind the cabinets to my regulator and dehydrator, and I just hooked the activator gun right there into it, and it seems to work really well. So we'll turn it on, and as I told you guys in an earlier video, this is my remote, and it works the remote outlets back there. The timer's still hooked up to where the tank runs about every 8 hours for about 30 minutes. Really helps balance out. Tanks are still running about 80 to 83 degrees a piece. We'll turn on pump. The main switch is what activates the actual pump. You'll hear the pump come on there. Number 2 activates the rinse side to help push the water across. Generally when I'm doing this, I run it without the dams, so we'll just pull them off. But you can hear the water still flows through just fine, even if the dams are in place. But with the dams in place, it won't let any debris that's on top of the water go across. So we'll just pull the dams off real quick so you can see that work. Not super high volume, but it does exactly what it's supposed to. It pushes water across the top of the tank. runs over through the gap you see cut there. Down in through this side, pardon the noise, you're going to get a little more noise here because of the sprinkler head running. You can also see where the water comes down through here. And just falls right into the piece of nylon gutter. I've drilled several holes in the bottom of the gutter. The mat is just sitting in there, which makes it really easy to change the mat out. So far, so good. I'm really happy with the results. We'll turn pump 2 off. Turn pump 2 off. And as you can see, the jets have stopped pushing water now. The remaining water you hear is just what's running through from the balancing out on the overflow. We'll go ahead and hit number 3, turn on the shower side. You get a pretty decent amount of flow out of the 2 shower heads. And as you can see, I put a coupler union here where I can pull those pieces in or out without any major difficulties. But pretty happy with the way it turned out. If you have any questions about the tank or any information you'd like to have, please by all means send me a message on the board, or you can even send me a private message on our Facebook account. Go to Facebook and look for G2B Custom Coatings and Vinyl, and you should be able to find us there. Now we'll get to dipping. All right, guys, now we're going to dip the helmet. And first thing I would like to do is I would like to say thank you, Liquid Concepts. They are not a sponsor of this channel. However, I have found that they do have the best products that you can get. Brian has been a great source of information since I decided to start this endeavor. I've reached out to him directly several times via email and phone call. He's been a big help, and their products are absolutely wonderful. One thing I will say, if you're just getting into doing, make sure when you get a product from anyone, regardless of who you buy it from, leave it in its sealed wrapper until you're ready to use it, and keep the wrapper. Because the one thing I've learned pretty quickly is if this stuff's not kept in a really dry area, it will lose some of its crisp nature, and it makes it a lot harder to work with. So keep it in a dry place. I bought a pretty large tub, and I keep the tub in the closet in the house. And I like to put some tape when I first get started for a couple of reasons: to hold it still while I'm cutting it. This is a self-healing mat, pretty easy to find on Amazon. Here's our helmet. And I'm sorry if I'm in front of the camera, I'm working in a pretty small space and trying to keep you guys able to see it, but still do what I need to do as well. So trim the edges of the tape to where it doesn't interfere with the dams. Pretty sure that's going to be enough, but we will do the roll it test. Oh, see, good thing we did that. We need a little more. So we'll pull up the tape here, move it further back. Also, one of the challenges with working in a smaller space, it's always better to have more than you need and waste just a little bit of material than it is to not have enough and ruin the opportunities of having a good hit on your dip. So, and like I said, I always put it back in the bag, and then generally, as soon as I'm done, I'll bring it right back in the house. But because we're shooting a video, we're going to lay it right here in the toolbox with the rest of the stuff that we have laying in the toolbox. Throw another piece of tape on this end to help it from rolling up. But it is nice and crispy from being in the package, which makes it so much easier to work with as well. We'll get that there for a second. We'll go ahead and get this ready to lay out on the water. I'm going to stop so I can change the camera position, and we'll be right back. Okay, so my dams are in place. The most important thing when you're doing this is to make sure your product has a sufficient space to fall and not stick to anything, but also a little room to grow. So go gently down on the water. Water is approximately 80 to 83 degrees normally in this tank. I believe right now I'm running at about 85. 1 minute timer. I'll let that sit. Looks like it's hydrating really good. That should be nice. And with all your patterns, once you get your pattern laid out, really take a look at it and see how you want it to fit on the part. With this piece, it's plenty big enough for me to go either way. I actually think I'm going to go in at an angle to where the skulls that are on this pattern, it's called the Gambler. It's got some cards and some dice and some skulls and a top hat. Pretty neat looking little setup. Okay, there's our timer. One of the biggest things about doing anything on YouTube, make sure you have all your shit together, right? Well, I had forgotten to turn the air compressor on, but quickly enough to get it done. So, air compressor's on, activator gun is set up. I run the activator gun at about 40 PSI. All right. Doing about a 20% overlap on the activator. And as you can see, it's spread out pretty good already. Looks great. It's all up against the dams. Once again, thanks for all the tutelage, Brian. He's helped me a lot along the way. And we're going to go for a hit. Let's see how we get it done. Oh, a little bit of shake, a little bit of stretch. Got a couple spots. Look at that. Got a couple spots that went badly. So we'll try it again tomorrow. But I'll leave this one in there because I know you guys would like to see the mistakes as well. And I can tell you exactly why that did that. I'm trying to save a little time at times as well. And I cleared this a couple of weeks ago. And just now, I thought I could get away without re-clearing it or giving it a tack coat. But we learned. Lesson learned. Okay, guys. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. So, you all saw the dip go badly. And it actually went really bad. After I got it outside and got to looking at it, it blew apart in all kinds of places. And like I said, it's because it had been cleared a couple of weeks ago. I should have scuffed it up a little bit with a Scotch-Brite, put another tack coat on it, let it sit today, and then re-dipped it tonight. However, I didn't. Failure on my part. But it's given us an opportunity. We have the color orange that it was already done in. We have green, we have a bright yellow, and a bright red. So, I'm going to go ahead and post this video early. I will be putting it out probably tonight before I go to bed, so it'll hit Monday. And I will repost the final dip, or attempt to, let's say. But I'll give you guys between now and Thursday evening late to pick a color. The color that gets the most votes will be the one that we throw on the helmet. I'll put it on first thing Friday morning before I leave for work, let it sit most of the day, and then I'll come home at lunch on Friday and I'll give it a dip, and we'll post a little later Friday afternoon than we normally do. We'll make sure we get it on there before, say, 6:30, 7 o'clock Friday afternoon. So please give me your responses, put your comments down. Again, as Brian has said so many times on the Liquid Concepts website, prep is key. Do it right on the prep. Don't try to rush things and you'll have a good hit. I tried to rush it for you guys today and didn't have a good hit. So thanks for watching. Leave me your comments. We'll see you with another video on Friday.